Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast, presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh from MitsuTimes. Today, my guest is Bryan. He is the owner and driver of the number 5 2G on our 2G list. He is also the number 1 quickest auto on our 2G list. How you doing today, Bryan?
I'm doing all right, man. How you doing?
I'm great, man. I know we got to do this before, and then it didn't turn out too good, so hoping we get a good one here, because I know a lot of people want to hear from you because they expect to see some more autos up there in the top 10.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this upcoming year is going to be a lot more wicked than it was previous years.
Yeah, after talking to you at World Cup, I think you got a good plan together for 2023.
Yeah. I think if everything goes right, you know what I mean, and
yeah.
I can. But also this year I had a broken rocker that I had no idea about, so I kept missing it every time I would inspect everything, and lo and behold, there it was, staring me right in the face.
Is that what was causing the breakup issue?
That's exactly what was causing the breakup issue.
Wow. So
yeah, I know, right?
Why don't you tell us about the setup on your car as it sits now?
Well, as it sits right now, got an aluminum rod. I got off-the-shelf Wiseco pistons, 22 millimeter wrist pin, fully filled block, next gen 8085 turbo, and running Ignite Red. And I'm not O-ringed. I'm just running the factory MLS, which seems to do pretty good. I mean, even at 70 pounds of boost, it really holds it. So
you're on the Auto Trans. Did you build the Auto Trans yourself?
Oh, no. There's some things that are just left for the professionals.
Yeah.
And an Auto Trans is not something that I will ever touch. I tried it once and I couldn't put it back together.
There's too many parts in there.
But the motor, nobody's hands touches that except for mine.
Gotcha.
And the machine shop. But I assemble it. I do the ring gap. I do it all. Set the clearances and everything like that. So the transmission is just something I just don't touch.
Gotcha. And did you say you said in the last one that it was all drive shaft shop axles?
So I've got the drive shaft shop rear 3000 GT axles, and then I also have the 3.5-inch aluminum drive shaft. But my front axles are just from O'Reilly's. Okay.
So, Bryan, what made you choose the 2G platform in the first place to do this build with?
So I guess really what it was I had saw a car go really fast down the drag strip about 10, 11 years ago. And I yelled out, I was like, what kind of car is that? And somebody screamed out, it's an Eagle Talon. So I go on Craigslist the next day, and I guess that there it was. I mean, that was the only one local to me that was for sale. And, so, I mean, I bought the car to go fast in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I just didn't realize how fast these things can go, But little did I know it would be a bad financial decision.
So tell us about the car you have now. When you bought it, was it just pretty much bone stock?
Yeah, so the only thing it had was a 3-inch catback exhaust,
okay,
and some aftermarket rims, and which I still use for the dyno. But other than that, everything was bone stock. I remember the first time I took it on the drag strip, 8th mile, I got 9.5.
Wow.
Which wasn't bad, I guess.
Absolutely. especially for your
manual,
first time.
so yeah. And then I just started slowly putting things on it, and then the 7-bolt motor that came factory in it took a poop. It jumped timing and just leaked oil everywhere, and then I went to a 6-bolt swap, and then that's when I built it, put a 6266 on it, and it was all history from there. I just started going bigger, better boost, more fuel, things like that.
Once you get going, you can't go back then.
I mean, I got that. I mean, the first time I felt boost was on that little T25,
Yeah.
and instantly I was addicted. So
It's enough to get you started.
yeah, I mean, that turbo life is it's something that you can't ever go back on.
Yeah. So did you have any original goals with the car when you bought it? I mean, did you envision it being a race car then?
Well, I always told people that it was going to be a really fast race car. Of course, nobody believed me. Everybody told me, "Oh, you should just get a 16G and just be done with it." I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? No. Like, I want to break this thing, and it is yet to give me enough problems to not want to touch it again. So,
yeah. Well, hopefully it never does.
no, well, it already has, but whatever. It's a side point.
So besides the PTE Next Gen that you've had in it, and obviously the T25, have you had any setups in it that really kind of worked well for you and kind of got you leaps and bounds ahead of where you were?
Well, this setup that I'm currently on, the Next Gen turbos from Precision are just they just produce so much more boost, and they come on a little quicker. I had a 7685, which was a Gen 2, and the 8085 comes on just a bit quicker,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't really overspin them. You know what I mean? The way they made them, you can't really overspin them, and they self-grenade themselves. That's what happened to the 7685. I went up to hit 70 pounds of boost, and then the next run, it just grenaded itself. So then I went to this 8085, and it's producing 70 psi like the 76 did on 50.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
So that's going to be the future for now, at least. I know you.
Yeah, I don't think I'll go any bigger.
Okay.
I don't think I'll go any bigger. I mean, if I go any bigger, then then I'll be restricted on other classes. And,
right.
I mean, already. I mean, on the 8085, I'm already restricted enough. But at least I'm getting down into the low fives in the 8th mile, so I could be somewhat competitive.
Gotcha. So, Bryan, you think after all this, kind of problems you've had, like you said, the broken rocker, and you said that, it's given you some problems here and there, you think if you could start all over, you would do this build exactly the same?
The engine, yeah, I think I would do it the same.
Okay.
I mean, it's given me faster times than I ever thought my car would go. I mean, even with a broken rocker, I did a 5.4 at 136 in the 8.
Yeah.
And that's when it was, and it was still breaking up. I mean, that was an easy 5.2 if it was clean. So, that would equivalent to a low 8s in the quarter. So yeah, I mean.
And you've, you're, like I said, you're in 5th place, and the 4th place, well, yeah, I guess about just a little over half a second ahead of you. So if you had a low 8s, yeah, you would definitely be chomping on, getting up into 4th place.
Yeah. I mean, next year I plan on doing a lot more with the car, and this year was just work got in the way, and and life and stuff like that. So next year I plan on doing a little more
Gotcha.
as far as events and whatnot like that.
What about the setup that you have, the 7685? Is that what broke you into the 8s for the first time, or was it a different turbo?
Oh no, that was the one that broke me into the 8s.
Okay.
So the first 8 second run was an 8.9, and then I made some tuning adjustments, did 8.7, and then about a couple months later went to about a month later went to Hail Mary Derby, and off the trailer did 8.7, and then made some more tuning adjustments and did an 8.5 at 160, and yeah. So hopefully this upcoming year I'll get, my goal is to get an 8.00.
Heck yeah.
That's my goal.
That's a good goal. Even though I know, a lot of people probably see that and think it's a half a second, but I mean, that's a lot to do to make up that half a second.
Until you actually get into a car and start building it and realize that a half a second is, 300 to 400 horsepower difference.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's very, very difficult to pick up a half a second, especially in racing, because, I didn't think it was that big a deal until I started doing it, and I was like, good Lord. But, and I'm pretty sure I'll break into the 7s eventually. But, I'm starting to collect parts for a whole brand new build under the hood,
Yeah.
Exhaust manifold, intake manifold, drive-by-wire. I mean, the whole 9 yards. But in order for me to put all that on, I'm going to get that billet block, and I'm going to make it clean enough you can eat off of it.
Yeah.
How about that?
I was going to say, at World Cup, you were definitely talking to the right people, so I know you got a good plan.
Yeah, and I've been getting some intel from a lot of people on what the custom clearances should be on these blocks, and so I'm hoping to be able to get this thing done myself. Especially in knowing what all the clearances should be.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the rods need to be factory spec, but the crank is really what the clearances need to be perfect on. So, but like I said, we'll see what happens.
So all those parts, the billet block included, those aren't going to be cheap in any stretch of the imagination. So what is it that keeps you motivated to keep kind of putting money into this car and wanting to go faster?
Honestly, my wife is a good influence to the point where she's a bad influence. Every time we go to the drag strip, even though I'm broken, she always wants me to go ahead, send it again. Just send it. I'm like, really?
She didn't come there to lose.
I'm trying to be conservative here and not break something even more, and you're telling me to just send it.
Love that.
But no, she's been a really good supporter of my racing program, and without her support, I wouldn't be able to do any of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but she always tells me and she's the one that told me the other day. She's like, Bryan, if you buy something, make sure you buy like 2 or 3 of them, just so you can have a spare. I'm like, so that means I need to buy like 2 or 3 billet blocks?
Right. $7,500 a piece?
I can get them a little cheaper than that. I can get them for like $6,800 shipped.
Good.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a good deal. But I think it's a good deal. But although, then you got to figure out I'm going to get the 6-volt version of it. And there's only one company that makes an aftermarket crank. But then again, the factory crank is pretty good.
Yeah.
They say it's limited to about 1,200 horsepower, but I mean, I'm pushing 1,000 at the wheels, close to it anyway.
Yeah.
And so I'm losing about 35% of my power.
Through the trans.
Through the auto and whatnot. Yeah. So does it really handle that much? Probably more. So I don't know. We'll see what goes on. I got plenty of 6-volt cranks, so why not just use those? I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
This episode of the MitsuTimes podcast is brought to you by 3SX Performance. Since 1999, 3SX Performance has been the world's premier source for everything Mitsubishi 3000 GT and Dodge Stealth. They have proven what they sell by building and tuning their 3SX cars in-house, which at one point held the world record passes in drag racing for the naturally aspirated and twin-turbo front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. Check out their products and services at 3sx.com. So is the 8.0 passed? Would you say that that's a goal for next year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, everything's closed down for the season, especially locally. My wife's telling me we should go down to Florida and make some runs.
Yeah.
Like, why don't we go down to Florida and find a drag strip that's open so you can make some runs now that you fixed your car? I'm like, well, I guess we could do that.
Yeah, I know some of the guys are talking about renting out a track so some of the Mitsus could get some practice before the season. So, but as far as
close to Christmas, that sucks.
I know. As far as testing tune, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty warm down there all year round. So,
you said the final goal. Would you say that there's a final quarter mile goal? You just want to run a 7 and then you kind of be happy there?
I'm going to tell you my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to just get sponsors.
Okay.
That's my ultimate goal. Right now, I'm only sponsored by one person, and that's me. But getting sponsors is really what I'm after. You know what I mean? And I've already been told I get, just as fast as getting to the mid-7s, and then we'll talk. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But getting in the mid-7s is very expensive.
For sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? And knock on glass to save my ass, but I'm still on the same planets for the last 6 years. So I think I've gotten the oiling to the planets done pretty good.
Wow.
I mean, I'm probably going to jinx myself now.
Let's hope not.
But yeah, I mean, I would like to say that a mid 7-second pass. I'd like to feel what that's like. Yeah, I mean, that's probably gonna make me need a diaper, but it's all right.
So what about if there's somebody out there, Bryan, they have a 2G auto all-wheel drive, they're not really sure where to get started or what to do. What would you what advice would you give for them to, kind of head the right direction and to, kind of avoid the mistakes or the errors that you might have made over the years?
Well, I'm going to tell you, failure is the tuition you pay for success.
Yeah.
So, advice I can give is don't give up. That's really the best advice I can give because, I could tell you what kind of converter that you should be using and whatnot like that for a certain setup, but everybody's setup is different.
Right.
If somebody's going to be on a 20G, their converter, is going to be different than somebody that's on a 80 millimeter or, their the kind of fuel that need to be using, what kind, if they're going to be using nitrous, things like that. I can tell you that I don't care what kind of turbo you're on, it's going to be very difficult to get up on top of that converter if you don't use nitrous. So I'm just saying. So consider your nitrous to be your best friend.
Yeah.
If you're on an auto.
Yep, you got to then.
Yeah. I mean, I've known people that were on nitrous on a nitrous on a manual, and they spray it in between shifts, so their boost recovery is down to a minimum.
Okay.
So
that's pretty smart.
Yeah, I mean it works.
What about Bryan? Have you had any other Mitsubishis through all this? Was the 2G kind of your first one, and you stuck to it?
Yeah. I never really built any one of them. I did buy a first gen non-turbo 4G63 a couple of years ago for my birthday, and I got it stupid cheap. And then I realized that the bell housing on the transmission was cracked. So I ended up getting that fixed. And these transmissions, these things are very hard to find. And a non-turbo front-wheel drive trans is a very difficult thing to find. And I just couldn't find one. I looked for months. And the shaft where the pilot bushing would ride on, it was no longer there, so it wouldn't come out of gear.
Okay.
So that was the issue with it, and I ended up selling it, and then I was just like, you know what? Let me just stick with this one.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Got to cut your losses.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I made money off of it.
There you go.
I didn't even really do much with it.
So, you kind of talked about it already, but is there any events that you will for sure be at next year with this car that people could come out and see it in action?
Yeah, so the shootout, I'm definitely going to bring it to the shootout. I'm definitely going to bring it to FL2K. And if I can go fast enough, I'll be out there World Cup finals with it.
Heck yeah.
And I'd like to go out to Texas 2K as well. So if I can make it to those 4 events, I'd be pretty happy.
That's the perfect series of events right there. All the good ones.
Yeah. I mean, the Texas 2K, I've never been there. So, and I know I'd like to go out west, and I got a buddy that lives in Texas, so maybe I can make it to there this year. I just don't know when it is yet.
So what do you think, Bryan, about the top 10 of the 2G? Right now there's there's 1, 2, 3, 4 autos, so there's 6 manuals. Do you think in the future we'll see more autos than manuals on the top 10 list of the 2Gs?
I mean, there are more and more people realizing that the auto is stronger, but there are some people that just can't they just can't get rid of that man pedal, if you will.
Right.
But I like to build boost between shifts.
Yeah, it seems like 2022 we've seen a lot of newcomers come up the list, and they're all kind of sitting between 11 and 20, but they all have autos.
Right.
So.
Well, I don't think I'm on a completely different level than most people. My car is not slow, but I always like to aim high, because I look at Aaron Gregory and I look at all these different people that are just in a different world, and you have Kigley racing before he retired his car, and all these autos that that's why I like to say, okay, well, what is he doing?
Yeah.
that I'm not doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, number one, he's got, I can't speak for him, but I do know that, people like to sponsor him and whatnot like that. So, I don't know what all he has, but I like to, my car breaks. I'd like somebody to send me some parts.
Right. Or to, when parts do break, to be able to replace them without paying the full price.
Exactly, and that's really what it is, and Precision seems to help me out pretty good. Precision helps me out pretty good, and some other companies, but the, official sponsoring, to be their car of their posters, that's really what I want. I want my car on a doggone poster.
Gotcha. That's fair enough. So, Bryan, where can people find you at on social media? You, I know you have Facebook and Instagram. Is there anywhere else that people can find you? You want to give people your Instagram?
I mean, I've got a YouTube channel, which I don't really post that much, but because I only have 10 followers, if that. But I also have a Facebook page. Right now, the name is called Adrenaline Racing.
Okay.
I'm going to think of a different name. That was just something I made up just to get a Facebook page going.
Gotcha.
But I just have no idea what I'm going to call it yet. Anybody has suggestions, drop them on my Facebook. But yeah, I mean, you can find it there, YouTube. Just search my name, Bryan Sharsh, and you'll find me. And, the more followers I'll get on YouTube, the more I'll post. But, I mean, I've had videos posted up there for 6-7 years. That's only got 10 views.
I have to share them some more, so get some more people out there to watch them.
Yeah, I'm not very popular on that social media platform.
We gotta get you out there so we can get the sponsors following you.
Yeah, that's really what like I said, that's really what I'm after. So as long as I can get those sponsors coming in, then other people will start following, and then I'll get a nice back. And I did post my car on TikTok, and one video got 150,000 views.
There you go. I think that's the new way to get out there now.
Yeah, TikTok seems to be the platform now.
Yeah.
And, so I did get that, and then I got another one 30-some thousand views, and, it can get out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So, Bryan, I always give people a chance at the end to kind of give a thanks to anybody who helped them get their car there or, get them to where they are. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
My wife is definitely the biggest influencer. And then we also have, local guys, got Marlon Morning. He's a big influence on my build.
Yeah.
And then, that's, he's really the one that's helped me along the way. And then you've got people that get advice from, you get Devin Schultz, me and him are pretty good friends. So that's about it.
Okay. Well, Bryan, I appreciate you coming on and doing this again. I know we've been trying to nail this down for some time. So, I want people to hear your story and to, get out there, follow you, and see that if they have an auto all-wheel drive, they can get up there and compete up in the top 10. Yeah,
man. Just just make sure you get those billet drums.
Yeah,
because those will crack.
Jeff Bush ever stops making those, we'll be in trouble.
Yeah, we will. That and Kigley.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate the interview, and
Appreciate it.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.